Hi, I'm Victoria, a licensed esthetician, and this is my husband and business owner, Chris. Welcome to your
business partner.
What did I say?
Business owner.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Victoria, a licensed esthetician and the owner of Skin by You, and this is Chris, my husband and business partner. Welcome to your Best Esthetician podcast. Today, I'm super excited. We're actually in a new space, feeling some things out, and hopefully you guys like the new setup too, because we're super comfortable and cozy.
Yeah, trying to make things a little bit more
Relaxed.
chillax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not so formal.
Yeah. Formal, but in a relaxed way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're enjoying the new space. Hopefully you guys like the new setup for now. But today we're going to just talk about community, which is something that's super exciting and something that's so important in any industry that you're in. And when you're building your Instagram or building your career, community is so important. So want to just jump into that topic. One way that, we love sharing community is sharing our love to other people. So I think if you want to start off with what you think of community
I think,
is.
the reasons why I thought this conversation was so important, and I think that we kind of missed the point a little bit on our last episode, was talking about consistency, and what was the other word that we used? Being consistent.
Intentional.
And then being intentional.
Yeah.
And I think that those two things are really, really important, in that you can't build a social media, you can't build in any type of influence without those two things. I think the community is something that we both knew was important, but I think when we were hitting those things so hard, I think we overlooked how important the community was. And I think over the past few weeks of us growing our social media and continuing to hit this, this season really hard, I've realized that the community has been one of the things that's been really, without the community, even with consistency, and being intentional, it doesn't take you all the way there.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a community that knows, especially in a niche like aesthetics, if people think that you're just there to use them, and you're only there to post cool content and to get followers and to do brand deals, it doesn't connect with people. And over the long run, your overall social media page does not grow followers. Maybe you can get a bunch of views, maybe you can have a piece of viral content, but in the end of the day, people are going to lose interest because they're going to feel like you're not with us.
Yeah.
You're just here because you had something go viral. And I think that that's the reason why I wanted to bring up this topic with community. But with, we're mostly going to speak about Instagram today. It's the platform that most people are interested in, that most people are using, and that we've been able to utilize and do really well. But I think that even with us, sometimes when we get into the rhythm of just posting consistently, we're doing well, we're posting so much, all this content is good, it doesn't connect with people the same as when we're on Instagram and connecting with other estheticians and connecting with other business owners.
And people are always going to have preconceived ideas of you. I think that's something that I have learned along the way is, the three definitely connect. So being consistent, being intentional with your posts, and having community. Because when you're engaging with other people, they're going to want to engage with you, and they feel that love and support just as much as it's a mutual thing. And as silly as it is, I think that I definitely suck sometimes as far as the community part goes, because it's hard doing all three, especially when you have a family and you're just, you're scheduling your posts. And I feel like one of the 3 points definitely gets a little less love. And if you can do all three, that's great. But all three definitely connect together. So back to my point of just hi kitty, of preconceived ideas too. I think that's something that I really struggled with, because I felt like so many other people did or do so much better at community than I do, even though I really want to be engaged, but either I'm with clients, and then when I get home, I'm, dealing with my family. And so that to me is more important than per se building like so much community, if that makes sense. So I think there's a balance to everything. Not that you have to be on Instagram 24/7, because we're definitely not on Instagram 24/7. So balancing those three components, they're all so important. But I will say that that is something that I struggle with, as far
I
as
think
like
the
we do
main
really
way,
well with it because
Yeah.
we'll show love. Like if we see a post or see somebody's page that we think is really amazing, we'll go out of our way to say, hey, you are doing amazing.
Yeah.
We love your content. But when it comes to like the daily engagement, maybe that's a
Yeah.
little bit less because we're people, we're real people, you
Yeah.
know? So
And I think that the way you post on your stories as well, and I think that's one of the ways that we look at sometimes other estheticians or just other influencers in general of how they build community sometimes is showing up on their stories daily in a very vulnerable way
Yeah.
and just so consistently that can build that really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also ways that they're struggling when it comes to posting to feed and posting intentionally and consistently to the feed, which we got.
Yeah.
So I think that there's like these both, you know, if we thought about some of these other like influencers in the niche, in our niche, and we took our consistency and intentionality on our feed and mixed it with somebody else, say intentionality in their community on their stories, we could create the biggest Instagram ever, right? And I think that, you know, not that nobody's ever going to do that because we're all different and we're all have our strengths and weaknesses. But one thing, like Victoria mentioned, is that when every time we see somebody else's posts or even a new Instagram that we just stumbled upon, we are more than quick to tell them how amazing that they're doing and consistently show them love. So maybe it's a comment in the beginning, but then every time you see a post, you like it. Right.
Definitely.
And I think that, you know, I don't know what everybody else, and I think that maybe this is a good chance for us to like express and let people know, because I don't know if everybody does this, but if you're scrolling on Instagram, if these are people you follow, you should be liking every single post no matter what. Like those are your people. Those are people that most likely if you follow them, they're following you. Maybe not all the time, but either way, don't follow people and not engage with their content. There's no reason of following them, right? If you want to build that community, a like is the first step. The second step is a comment, and the third step is a DM.
But the bare minimum, we can like each other's posts. Like show community. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like you can have all three components, but not all of them have to be like equally the same. If that's all you can do is like a post, that's still showing up and showing them support. So
because
that's
most time
where
people
community
see
comes
that.
from.
Like
Because then they can be like, wow, she always likes my posts. And then if they get the chance, they're going to comment on your post. So, I mean, it's kind of like a relationship. It's you're giving, like if you always give, why would you want to, and you never receive, why would you want to continue that relationship and support somebody that doesn't support you back? You know, like it's hand in hand. And not that you have to be perfect at being consistent, being intentional, and having community. It's like having those three components, but dabbling into like what the best you can do. Because I wish, honestly, sometimes that we could be on Instagram so much more than we already are. But I have to realize I can't compare myself to other people that may have more time than me that don't have kids, because kids itself take up so much of our time. And I get people asking me all the time, how do you do it with posting all the time? And, you know, like staying consistent basically, like with having kids specifically. And I'm like, to be honest, I do the best I can and I'm not perfect. So back to community, I think it's really important to just have that and do it in the ways that you can. And I feel like we've done a really good job at that, of having community. And I wish, like I said, we could do more, but I think people know that like we're always liking things, and that shows a lot, because
and I think
having a family and like
you said, I think that in our position, I think that you do a great job. I think that we could always do better. We could do better at everything, you know, but with what we're doing now, the reason, the biggest motivation and inspiration I got about having this talk in the first place and speaking about this is because I do feel like we have an amazing, or you, because you're the one communicating back and forth with people, you know, I just help post and shoot the content, but like we do have an amazing community that's skinned by you. We have amazing people who every time you post, they're commenting, and people who are DMing when they see your stories and asking you questions about things. And they know that you're a place that if they reach out, they can get an answer. At least people who support you. You know, I mean, we get tons of DMs all the time of just people who don't follow and saying, how do you do this? How do you do, like, they just want information and they're not building, they're not building community. And that's what they're doing it the wrong way. Because if they liked your content, followed you, and commented on something and show you that, hey, I'm not just trying to steal what you have. I'm not trying to take your information. I'm just genuinely curious and I'm inspired by you.
I get so many like DMs asking what camera I shoot with, how I shoot my videos, and I literally will look at their page, and if they don't follow me, I'm like, why am I going to put energy into somebody who doesn't support me? You know,
it's a little bit disrespectful to go like, hey, I'm in, like, I love what you're doing.
I watched one video of you that I saw on the Explore
and now you
page.
should tell me all the information. And the thing is we've even took the chance. I think what the problem is we've taken chances with those people before where we respond to them and tell them, and what they do is they just ask for more. They want more. They want more. They have more questions. They want to know everything. It's like a type of
personality. So
and they don't even want to. They don't want to give you the simple support of a follow.
And it's so funny because I think support also in community is like sharing these things that you do. So I mean, I don't like openly say, hey, this is what I do, this is what I shoot with, this is what gets me reach. But if somebody asks us, and I think that's where like you have to have pride, like put your pride to the side and just ask a question. So we are always responding to people and having that community of what we shoot with and what works best for us. I mean, at this point I should probably charge for a consult. Like it is a lot of time and energy that I do respond to people. So I mean, that is also a form of community in itself, is taking the time and not charging somebody. I mean, I talked to so many estheticians that are like I just had the other day, what would you start with a face reality order? And I'm, going back and forth with her. And so it's just things that,
sorry about the cat. I hope it's not too distracting.
It's just things that, that like little things like our community. It doesn't have to be like a huge thing, but I mean, those are just tiny examples of what community looks
amazing.
like.
And that's what makes the community that we have so amazing. And I think that when our content lately has been growing and like hitting these new numbers that has never have before, that simple community, that person that you're responding to and spending 30, 45, an hour out of your day to tell them what you think is the best way to do things, that same person, we know they're going to like all your content. And that's not the reason why we do it, but it's just, that's what community is. They're asking of you of something, and they know in return they're going to give you something. And that's what the community is supposed to be. That's what, like, it's a friendship, right? It's a friendship. You help them move to their new apartment. They help you move to your new apartment.
And then those random DMs are just toxic relationships.
The people who don't follow you are
it's
friends.
like a healthy relationship versus toxic relationship. So
exactly.
I mean, you definitely have to protect your well-being and what you're giving to people, because at the end of the day, that is energy that you're putting, like it's wasted energy at the end of the day. And so I think it's great to be intentional with like who you're giving your community to. So
I think
we definitely, I would say, are not like the best at like responding to every single thing. And that's something that I have to stop comparing myself to, because I see other estheticians that have way more community than I do, and I like try my best, and I'm like, I'm drowning over here. I'm trying my best. So don't compare yourself like me. I think everybody has their own toxic, trait of comparing themselves to others. And I mean, somebody could look at me right now and be like, wow, I feel like you post a lot. And I'm like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. So it's like, don't compare yourself to other people, because you're doing such a great job in your own way. And so those three components definitely tie into each other, and do the best you can with it. Start off slow. Don't overwhelm yourself. But community is so important to grow your Instagram, because people are going to comment on your stuff and you're going to comment on theirs. So that's how we build community and see, and your name will get out there too.
I think one last tip, if to give a tip on, building on that, if I give you an actionable item to go do after watching this videos, when you're scrolling on social media and you see something you genuinely like and you go, wow, I love the information there. I love how beautiful that was shot. I love that she did this. I love that she likes this.
Educational.
Yeah, or whatever that things that you liked about that video, instead of just liking it and moving on, comment on it and then take it a step further and DM that person. Like, just say, and we do this all the time.
Yeah.
When we stumble upon something we genuinely like, we just tell them. We're not
Love your
asking for
post.
anything.
Love what
we
you
don't
said about
need
this.
anything. Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. We love it. And when people do that to us, it means so much because we work so hard, and other estheticians, the people who are watching this right now, work so hard on their content. So if you have one actionable item to go away, I'm not going to say go post on your story more, talk about your life more, do more makeup routines.
I mean, just because somebody has like an amount of followers, I think that people just assume like, oh, I don't need to like tell them what they're doing. But if you think about all the time that you put into one post that maybe your account isn't the most, engaged and isn't the most poppin'. So let's say you have like 500 followers and you spent 3 hours on this post. Can you imagine how much that would mean if somebody just told you, I love this post, like I love your work, versus somebody who has like 50K followers and you think it means nothing because they have that amount of followers.
Yeah, and I think, I with that being said also, we have 40,000 followers on Skin by You and we see every DM.
Yeah.
So don't think that even somebody with 100,000, I have friends, I know people, I've been around people, I have influencer friends that have 250, 300,000 followers. They see the DMs. Now they cannot respond to them, but trust me when I tell you they see them.
Yeah.
Don't think they're so overflown. When we get DMs of people saying, I love what you're doing.
Thank you for responding. I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah, like it blows our mind because like it means so much that somebody could reach out and just say, we
I'm
love
like, thank
what you're
you for
doing.
reaching out.
Yeah, it means a lot. And I think, with all that being said, that all ties back into the community. That's something that we actively work on to do better. We're not the best in all the ways, but some of the ways we are doing really well is engaging with other people in our space, commenting at other people in our space, and sending DMs when it's necessary, responding to stories, letting people know that we're watching and we care, And I say we, I mostly say you because we talk about this together. I don't mean like I'm responding specifically, but I just say we as in these are things that I recommend Victoria to do because she's in the space. She loves these people's stuff. So it's like, if she goes, oh, I just love that they did this. I'm like, well, tell them. Yeah. And it makes you go, oh yeah, I should tell them.
Yes.
And that's what
sometimes we don't
community
even
is.
think like, it's like, it's kind of like that marketing term is like, when somebody's on something like to go book an appointment, then they get distracted. It's like, no, your agenda is to tell that person how much you love their content, how much you like appreciate that. Maybe
don't
just posting
get distracted.
that.
You watched 7 of their stories explaining something and it helped you. You took value. Tell them.
Definitely.
And that's what community is, right?
Yeah.
And I think, with all that being said, I just remember that community means a lot.
Yeah.
And tying it back into the social media, the engagement helps the algorithm. We didn't even touch...
And it may help your account grow.
Yeah, we didn't touch on that, which is the reason why the community is so helpful. Not only the fact to have people to talk to and go back and forth with, but bigger picture, that community helps the algorithm. The bigger the community you have, the more likely it is the algorithm is going to explode and reach more people. You're going to get new likes. You're going to get new comments. You're going to get new views. New views.
New views.
I
said
said that
right.
Weird. It just
New
sounded
views.
New views. I said it weird when it came out.
New
views.
Yes.
But that's the reason why community is amazing, despite all the fact of having friends
too, I
and
mean, if you're liking these people's posts, then Instagram can recommend your page to other people. So don't think that your work isn't going unnoticed or that it's not going to do anything.
It helps you and it helps them.
Yes.
So just remember that.
So all this ties back to is community. And if you guys have any specific questions on any deeper questions on how to build your community, or if you have anything else that you want us to touch on, we would love to. But thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll wrap this up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we can't wait to see you next week.